Starting down in the back. Just connect in with some breathing. So roll yourself gently down to the floor. Take your fingertips onto your hip bones. Take a nice big breath in. Sigh the breath out and really loose roll the palms back and forward. So just as loose as you like, just feeling into the spine. We'll eventually refine the movement. Just let yourself rock, breathe, sigh, yawn. Start to let the shoulders relax into the floor. And now start to let the movement become a little smoother, smaller. Feel the back ribs sinking heavier down into the floor, right down to the bottom of the rib cage. And start to feel this rock just in the pelvis. Travel along the lower spine from towards the tailbone, up that bony sacrum, into the small of the back, leaving the buttocks and the thighs soft, just stopping behind the navel, and then following the spine down through each vertebrae, along the sacrum, back to the tailbone. So as little effort as possible, really feeling the weight of these lower bones into the floor. Going slow. Sometimes this can make a little shudder through that lower back and down through the legs as those little nerve pathways open up. Start to link it in with your breathing as you exhale and travel up to behind the navel. Feel the belly draw down gently, and as you inhale, widen your ribs, feel the back of the rib cage in the floor as you roll back down towards the tailbone. Just do one more here. Exhaling, belly sinks in, follow up the spine to behind the navel, and then breathe in. The back ribs heavy in the floor and widening as you roll back down to the tailbone. Just leave your fingertips on your hip bones. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, close the ribs in and down, and just feel like the belly skin draws up from the pubic bone to the navel, leaving your spine and your pelvis completely still. Belly steady as you inhale and widen into the ribs. And as you breathe out, feel that gentle draw up from the pubic bone to the navel, and the bottom ribs reach in and down. Just do two more of these. Find a connection, not necessarily squeezing really hard. It's just smooth, steady, connecting as the breath flows out. And as you inhale, that belly stays relatively still. The back ribs are heavy and the rib cage widens. Coming into a little bit of stability here as you're breathing out. Stay with that breath. Ribs come down, belly skin sweeps in and up. Both legs roll out to each side. And then breathe in, roll them back in. Stay with this for 5 more. Keeping the back of the rib cage heavy. The little space under the lower back. And these hip bones stay straight up towards the ceiling. So you can either rest your fingertips on your hip bones or on the bottom ribs. Sometimes it's nice just to help remind those ribs to sink down. And as they sink down, you feel the bottom of the back ribs in the floor. Bring the legs back in. Now just the right leg. Do 5 just with the right leg. Finding that connection through the belly and the rib cage once again, and keeping the pelvis really still. So find your range here, and then as the leg goes out to the side, see if you feel that right hip bone reach towards the left one a little more, and so you can go a little bit further without rocking off your left hip. Do one more on this side. Bring the leg back to center and then switch to the left leg. Leave that right knee standing tall as if there's a glass of water on it. Feel the weight of your pelvis down towards the tailbone. And as that left leg rolls out to the side, feel the hip bone reach towards the right hip. So 2 more. The more connected you are in the abdominals and your torso, the more you'll be able to roll in that hip socket. And bring the leg back in. Reach the arms, take them long, sink the arms down in these shoulder sockets, and the back of the shoulders heavy on the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, the ribs draw in and down, and the shoulders lift up towards the ceiling. And then breathe in, let them melt down and widen. Feel that spine of the shoulder blade, feel that bony part go wide out to the shoulders. The back of the ribs sink down as you peel the shoulders off. And then you melt down along that bony spine out to the shoulders. So 2 more here. Reach through the fingertips and then melt the shoulders down into the floor. Take a breath in. Maintain your neutral. Ribs come down. Belly skin draws in and up as the arms open out to the side. And then breathe in. Draw them back up. Feel how you have to hold the rib cage steady. Open the arms out to the side and bring them back up. So the chest stays steady, the pelvis. As you exhale, just draw pubic bone to sternum, ribs reaching and down. This time open out to the side. Bring them down beside your body. Circle inside the socket. The back of the shoulders heavy as you sink the arms back up and into their sockets. Open out to the side. Ribs drawing in down and the arms heavy, falling back into their sockets as you bring them up. 1 more this way. Feel that really smooth and easy roll in the shoulder socket. Bring them to the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale. The ribs draw in and down. The belly skin scoops up as the arms come down, open. Just out from the shoulders. Now let the arms go heavy in their sockets as you bring them up. Bring them down beside you. Keep the ribs in and down as you open to a T. And then heavy down into the sockets as you come up. Do 1 more here. Hold connection. And bring the arms up. So you're going to take a breath in and exhale. The arms are going to come down. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the pelvis up. Now pull your tailbone long. And then breathe in. Sink down to the floor. Arms up, heavy in your sockets. Exhale, squeeze the sit bones together. Reach the tail as the arms go down. And then breathe in, lengthen through the spine, lower down, arms heavy in their sockets. Keep going, nice and smooth. Squeeze those sit bones, reach through the tailbone. Heavy arms in the sockets as you bring them up. As you exhale and lift, pull them, reach the ribs, in and down towards the hip bones, and the belly skin scoops up. Keep those knees, feel like they're pressing into a little blue chi ball. Heavy in those shoulders as the arms swing up. Do 1 more here. Arms come down, lift the pelvis, hold here. Open the knees out to the side and the arms open. If this feels too unstable, leave the arms down on the floor. So just got to watch that rock. Ribs down, pull the pubic bone to the sternum. Hold wide and heavy across your shoulders. Just take the arms out to a T, out from the shoulders. The neck stays nice and long. Roll onto the edge of the foot and bring the legs back in. Last one. Bring the arms in, rest them down on the floor. Keep squeezing the buttocks as you start to roll each vertebrae down. Sink each one into the floor. Go through the small of the back, still lifting that tailbone, and then relax the buttocks as you roll through the sacrum to the tailbone. Take a breath in and exhale, heel up, squeeze the buttocks, reach the tail, lift 1 vertebra at a time. So don't come as high for this one. I want you to really avoid arcing in your lower back. So bring the ribs down towards your hips. Squeeze your butt and reach to the tailbone. So really hang in those buttocks, push down through the right foot, raise the left leg to 90 and roll it back down. Push down through the right left foot. Right leg slides out and lifts and then rolls back down. Keep your ribs down and the buttocks squeeze. Left leg glides out and lifts and roll it down. Do one more. Really squeeze that left buttock. Keep your tail long and then take the foot to the floor. Now squeeze the sit bones together, breathe in, exhale, bring the ribs down and press the pelvis up as you pull that pubic bone up to your sternum. Really let your ribs and your hips meet towards each other, squeeze into those glutes, and then start to roll down one vertebra at a time between the shoulder blades. Keep the tailbone slightly pressing up, the buttocks squeezed. Really bring the lower spine along the floor. And then the buttocks start to release as you go through the sacrum all the way to the tailbone. Pause here. Just take the hands behind the head. Lengthen through the neck, lift the elbows. Slight imprint of your spine. Ribs down, float one leg up, keep the ribs down, spine towards the floor as you float the other leg. Keep the spine down towards the floor, sink those ribs down as you peel up through each vertebrae and roll each vertebrae down. Keep the navel down, helping that spine to stay on the floor. Bring those ribs in and down and peel up. So feel like the ribs are knitting together and then reaching down towards that pelvis. And then this time, peel up. Going into femur arcs, arc the right thigh away, drag that skin, pubic bone to navel, and bring the leg back up. Knit the ribs in and down towards the hips, and the navel scoops in and up towards the ribs. One more each side. Keep those ribs really strong in and down, and the navel scooped and lifted. Bring the legs up and roll each vertebrae down to the floor. Lower the legs down to the floor and rock them side to side. Come back to center. Lengthen through the neck, lift the elbows, smaller the back, softly into the floor. Ribs down as you exhale and float one leg up, keeping the ribs down and the navel in, float the other leg. Knit those ribs in and down together, reach into the pelvis as you peel up through each vertebrae. Single leg stretch, extend the right leg out and bring it back in. Navel draws in and up towards the ribs as the left leg goes out and back in. Do two more each side, nice and smooth. Focus on those abdominals, scoop in and up, keep space under your chin, support the head with the hands. Let those bottom ribs in and down, last one. Bring the leg in and roll each vertebrae down to the floor and lower the legs down one at a time. Just release the arms, bring them down, just give those abdominals a rest for a moment. Take a nice big breath in, and as you breathe out, feel the ribs just relax down and the back of the rib cage relaxes into the floor. The shoulders sink down and wide, and that pelvis just releases long down towards the tailbone. Little space under the back. Coming into some leg circles. Draw the ribs in and down as you float the right leg up. So you can leave this left leg bent, or you can straighten it out long. Keep the heel slightly pressed into the floor and the right sit bone reaching towards your left heel. Start to circle the legs, start off small. Feel the ribs reach in and down, and the skin draws up from the pubic bone to the navel, as if it wants to come up and under those ribs, which are reaching down and over towards the pelvis. Feel the body staying really still. If this feels really comfortable for you, straighten into the leg. Make sure the pelvis is staying really steady. You can put your fingertips on your hip bones if you like, and then start to circle the leg in the other direction. So we're looking to free up the hip here, the hip socket. So you want to hold your body really still and let the ball sweep around inside the hip. Sometimes you get some little clicking and popping going on here as ligaments and tendons snap over each other or just click over each other. So that's what we want to hydrate and eventually soften and get them to glide, come back through the center and lower the leg to the floor. Just pause, find your neutral here, and then we're going to bring the left leg up to a 90. So right leg bent or straight. If while you're doing the movement it feels too much straight, bring it in. Left sit bone, reach slightly towards your right heel. Take a breath in and exhale, stabilize your torso. Start to circle the leg. Start small. Sometimes we gather tension into these connections around your hip. And so by starting small, it allows for those little maybe sticky bits to start to soften. And as they start to soften, you can start to take the leg wider. Feel free to take it to a straight. If you can maintain the ribs down, the stability in your pelvis. Relax through your neck, your throat, the back of the shoulders are heavy. Those bottom ribs are down in the floor. Pause at center and start to circle in the other direction. Really find this torso connection. Zip up the pubic bone to your sternum. Reach your ribs in and down towards your pelvis. And feel the two mesh together. And feel them hold mesh together. So that pelvis doesn't rock or tilt away. Do one more here. Come back around to center and lower the leg down to the floor. Just bend the knees. Take the arms out to the side. Take the legs over to the right side. Feel the left shoulder and the ribs sink back down towards the floor. And then bring the legs through center over to the left side as the back of the right ribs and shoulders stay heavy. So you want to create some stability here so you have resistance into the twist. And do one more. Ribs, shoulders stay heavy as the legs rotate. Come back through the center. So we're going to go into a double leg stretch. We're going to go into imprint. The smaller the back sinks towards the floor. Just take a breath in and exhale. Draw the ribs in and down and mesh the pelvis and the rib cage towards each other as you float. One leg up, bring it in a little further and bring the other one. So you can just round through the lower back a little bit if you like here and bring those knees in. Hands come on to the sides of the legs. We'll lift the head down, rest behind the nose. So take a breath in and as you exhale, scoop through the belly, ribs reach down, extend out, only as far as you hold connected. Circle the arms, bring the legs in. So smaller the back to the floor, scoop up the belly, ribs reach down as you extend, and circle the arms around, bring the legs in. Keep going. Only extend as far as you keep the back ribs in the floor and the smaller the back towards the floor. Feel the pelvis meshing up towards the ribs without letting it pull away. If it's pulling away or you're lifting, just take the legs a little higher. Feel the shoulders heavy in their sockets, even as they arc back. And smooth circling, and do two more. Scoop up, pubic bone to navel, ribs reach down. Extend the legs long away from that pelvis that's drawing back up towards your rib cage. And bring them all the way in, hug them in and rock side to side. Melt the smaller the back and the floor. Come back through to center. Bring the legs up, so it's still in slight imprint, and take the arms out at 45. So we're going to keep the knees together here. Feel like they're glued together. Take the legs over to the right, heel the back of the left hip. Exhaling, draw the ribs in and down. And breathe in, roll over to the left side. Exhale, draw the ribs in and down. Scoop up the belly as you come through center and over to the side. Both of the shoulders stay down. As you go to the left, back and the right ribs, reach back and down. And create tension here. Hold with the torso and the shoulder as you rock the pelvis side to side. This time, come over to the left side, keep the knees together, hollows through the belly, ribs down, and reach those legs long. Breathe into, bend them, come back through center, ribs down, hollow up through the belly, and extend the legs, and bend them in. Come back through center, make sure those knees stay together, don't have to go far, scoot through the belly, ribs down, extend. Bend and over to the right side. Chest, head stay center. Do one more each way. Torso stays really still and steady. Scoop through the belly, ribs reach down, legs extend. And one more. Follow, connect, reach the legs out, bend them in. Back through to center and lower the legs down to the floor. So we're going to go into some pelvic circles from here. So settle into your neutral, resting down towards the tailbone, the bottom of the back rib sink to the floor. Roll up through the lower spine into the small of the back, resting behind the navel. Tip the leave your knees in parallel, tip the pelvis over to the right, the left knee will go forward. Roll down to the right buttock, across the tailbone to the left buttock, the right knee will go forward. Come up the left side and around behind the navel, over to the right. Roll down into the buttock, left knee goes forward. Cross the tailbone to the left buttock, right knee goes forward. Up and around the back of the waist. So just circling the pelvis, imagine a circle drawn on your back and you follow around it. Comes down through the buttock, through the tailbone, through the other buttock, up the side and around the back of the waist. The legs, knees stay parallel and they will go forward and back as you circle. Come around and rest behind the navel, pause, legs in parallel, tails lifted. And then tilt the pelvis over to the left, roll down into the left buttock, cross the tailbone to the right, up the right side, and around behind the back of the waist. To the left, into the left buttock, the tailbone, the right buttock, up the right side, and around behind the back of the waist. One more here. Keep knees in parallel, keep them in the center. Let them go forward and back. When you come back around behind the navel, roll back down the spine towards the tailbone. Rest in neutral. Put the fingertips on your hip bones. Keep the knees in center. And imagine you have a marble resting in your navel. You're going to roll it over to the right hip. The left buttock will lift. The left knee will go forward. Roll the marble from the right hip across the navel and over to the left hip, and the right buttock will lift, the knee goes forward. Roll that marble back across to the right hip, left hip lifts, left knee goes forward, and just go from side to side. Just check in that you're not lifting your hip bones, you're literally just rocking straight across that line between the hips. Do one more each side here. The knee will go forward as the hip lifts. Take us back in. And the other side. Come back to center. Just take a couple of breaths here. Just breathe in deep into the belly, fill the rib cage, sigh, yawn, breathe it out, and really relax into that pelvis. You should feel a lot more energy through that lower spine and a lot freer around through the pelvis. and the hips. So we're going to come on to some sideline. Come up onto the forearm. Knees together. Elbow presses down into the floor. And just take your hand around these bottom ribs and lift them up. Take your hand onto the front ribs and just press them back slightly. Take your hand up onto your chest, widen through the collarbone and the shoulder. Just slightly press it back. Hold that alignment. Hand goes down onto the floor. Take a breath in and exhale. Zip up from the pubic bone, the ribs down. Raise the leg and extend it long. Bring it back in and take it down. So hold the torso really still. Lift the leg, take it long, slightly pressing into the back space. Bring it in and rest it down. Chin slightly down, neck nice and long. Feel like you press the back of the neck slightly back. Lift as the leg goes long, take it slightly into the back space. Bring it in and down. Keep going. Stand through the side of the hip. Feel that buttock engage as you're pressing the leg slightly into the back space. Do one more. Extend, pause here. So you're starting off in the center, the toes are pointed. You're going to zip up and bring those ribs down and just press slightly back and back to center. Keep pressing through this elbow. Press slightly back. Feel that buttock engage and then back to center. Keep going like that. Keep these ribs in and down and the back of the neck slightly pressing back so you feel length up through the base of the skull. Got two more. Feel this little hollowing of the belly, especially as the leg presses back. Come back to center. It's not a big move. Keep your pelvis really still. Really got to lift that pubic bone. Come back to center. Bend the leg in and rest it down. Slide the arm out long. Rest the head down and lift the bottom waist off the floor. So take your hands onto your ribs again. Just tuck them in. Go down and feel the rib in line with the hip bone. Stretch out through the waist, the side of the hip. Feel the tailbone just slightly reach out behind you. Raise the top leg, send it long. Lengthen the side of the hip. Stabilize through the torso and start to circle the leg. So as you're circling, really zip up. Pubic bone to navel, to the ribs, reach those ribs in and down, hold strong through the torso. And then it will go deeper into your buttock. Follow in and up a little more, really bring that pubic bone in and up. Pause here, and then take the leg back. So really focusing into making the buttock really active. Shoulder, top shoulder relaxes. Zip up a little more, feel this hollowing above the pubic bone and reach those ribs down. As the buttock gets tired, you'll let go through here. So you can do two more. Or if you need to, you can bend the leg. And then bend the leg in and rest it down, bring it forward, come on into that buttock. And just roll that top foot around the ankle and back around the other way. Give the leg a little bit of a shake. Come back up onto your forearm. Bend the knees, stack them, lift the side body, bring the ribs back, widen through your collarbone and just slightly press that shoulder back. Slide the top leg out long and take the hand either down the side or on the floor. So breathe in and exhale. Zip up, ribs in and back, and lift the hips. And breathe in to go down. Exhale, zip up, ribs down, lift, and breathe in to lower. Let's do three more. Really find that connection. Nice long deep exhale. Breathe in, come down, pause here. Tuck those ribs in, mesh the pelvis and the ribs together, and then reach and lift and lower. So as you lift the leg, make sure you don't drop your ribs. So you're only coming really just to the height of the hips or slightly higher. As you lift, really bring these side body up and away from the floor. So lift away from the floor, reach the leg long. The shoulder stays really wide. Make sure that left shoulder is slightly pressing back. And we've got 2 more. So apart, hold this connection. Lower the leg down. Now you can either stay on the forearm or slide the arm out long and rest your head down. Make sure you're not straining the neck or the shoulder. So you're going to float the leg, flex the foot, draw in through the belly to the navel, bring the leg forward, point the toe, keep the zip up as the leg goes back. Flex and go forward, point and back. Feel the back of the neck just slightly pressing back. Keep the base of the skull lifting. Ribs draw in and down. Find that mesh of that belly skin in and out towards your ribs. Let's do 2 more. Pelvis holding really steady. That's 1. Make them smaller if you're getting tired. And 2. Come back to center, bend the leg in, rest it down, come all the way down. Just loosen off that buttock, take a few nice deep breaths. And then just do some little lazy circles here, just to relax that butt a little. Circle around the other way, just nice and loose. And rest the leg down, just give it another little pummel. Oops, what's happened? All right, we're back. All right, come back up onto the forearm. Last little bit here. So find that setup. You can leave the leg bent, or we're going to take it long. So the side, lift, bring the ribs in, open up the collarbone and slightly press the shoulder back. So take the leg nice and long, take a breath in, and the arm goes down the side. Exhale, lift, arm comes over, gaze to the floor, and breathe in, gaze to the fingertips. Scoop up, belly to navel, arc over, and breathe in as you go down. Just 2 more. Feel the arm heaving down into its shoulder socket. Keep the shoulder wide, collarbone nice and wide. Lower back down and come all the way up to sitting. Just stretch the legs out, give the feet a little roll around, back around the other way. So this arm that you're resting on, take it out to the side, bring it up to the ceiling, sink the shoulder down, turn the palm back, and take the hand onto the back of the shoulder. So now, draw the arm in towards your head, breathe in, exhale, pull the ribs in and down as you press the elbow back. And you can walk the fingers down your back a little more. Take a breath in and exhale, ribs draw in and down, reach the arm in towards your head and lift the elbow up, walk the fingers down a little more. Keep stretching up through the upper arm and reach the elbow up. So you can either take the hand onto the upper arm and just slightly help lift towards the elbow, or you can take the arm across, hold the elbow, and pull the elbow back. Keep swinging the arm in towards your head, and make sure you haven't lost connection with those ribs. Draw them in and down. Take 2 more breaths here. Feel the belly skin, draw in and up as those ribs reach down towards your pelvis. And breathe in, release. Give those shoulders a little wriggle around and come over to the other side. So starting up on your forearm, elbow, hip in line, and your feet tucked in behind in line with your hips. Feel like you're resting against a wall. The elbow, the buttocks, and the feet would be against the wall. You could line them up with the back of the mat. So hand lifts the side ribs up. Bring the front ribs in, widen your collarbone, and just slightly press that shoulder back. Take a breath here and exhale. Lift the hips and breathe into lower. And exhale to lift. And breathe into lower. Pause there. Stay lifted through the side body. Raise the top leg. Sink the ribs in and down. Extend the leg out. And bring it back in. Rest it down. Hold steady. Lift. Extend. Bring it in. And lower. Feel the back of the neck. Slightly pressing back. That slight length through the base of the skull. Adjust the leg, moves, ribs reach in and down. 2 more. As the leg extends, feel like it slightly presses into the back space. Bring it in, rest it down. This time lift, extend it long. In the center, point through the toe. Zip up through the lower belly, slightly press back, bring it back to center. So leg stays long and straight, slightly press back, bring it in. Make sure you don't lose this connection through your torso. Ribs and hips meet towards each other. 3 more. Squeezing the back of the thigh, reaching the leg even longer. Make sure the shoulders stay slightly pressed back. Bring it in, bend the leg in, and rest it down. Slide the arm out long. I'm just going to put some extra light on here. So just pause there, find that connection through the side body. Feel the waist gently lifted, the legs stacked. So hold the top leg and send it out long. Point through the toe, reach through the side of the hip. Connect pelvis and rib cage and start to circle the leg. Hold really steady through the body. This top shoulder, let it widen and rest in its socket. Zip up, pubic bone to sternum, draw the ribs in and down towards the pelvis. Keep the waist lifted, make sure you go into the back space. Feel the buttock. 1 more here. And then take the leg back, lift it up and over. Don't let go through your torso, go deeper. Go deeper into that connection. Really draw pubic bone and ribs towards each other. Shoulder stays down. Last 2. And bend the leg in. Rest it down. Pummel it into that buttock. Work gets in. Let's give your leg a little bit of a shake out here. Loosen it off. Flip the foot around and then restack. So lift the waist. This bottom armpit feels like it's facing forward. So there's the bottom side of the body just comes right onto the side. Lift the waist, stretch long, relax the hand down. Float the leg, stretch it long. Reach it even longer and feel like you pull the hip longer. Zip up through the front of the body, flex the foot. Hold connection as you bring the leg forward and point the toe, bring it back. Flex and forward and point and back. We did this up on the forearm last time, so if you want to come back up onto the forearm, you can come here. Otherwise, stay down on the arm. Press this shoulder back and lift through the side body. Head meshing the pelvis and the ribs together. Really feel this hollow through the belly. Bring the ribs in and down. Feel the back of the neck slightly pressing back so you lengthen through the base of the skull. 1 more each way here. And bring the leg back to center, bend it in, relax down, loosen off that buttock. All right, let's come back up onto the forearm. Let butt's getting a bit of a workout. So elbow and hip and the back of the feet line up, lift up through the side body, shoulder presses back, ribs sink down. Take the leg long and take the arm out long. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, pubic bone zips up, ribs reach down, lift, and breathe into lower. So as you're lifting and lowering your limbs, feel the torso coming away from the floor. So rather than sinking down towards the floor, especially when the limbs lift, those bottom ribs reach away from the floor. Reach really long through the leg. And feel that skin of the lower belly draw in above the pubic bone and up to the navel. Last two. Reach that leg even longer. Scoop up that belly skin. Bring it down, bend the leg in, and just pummel into that buttock. Move the feet around the ankles if you like. And just give that leg a little bit of a shake out. Bring it in closer so you don't have to use the buttock. And just shake it out. All right, last one, coming into lifts. So elbow under shoulder. Feel like the elbow, the hips, and the feet are all resting in a line. Lift up, widen that shoulder, ribs in. Take the top leg long and the arm long. So you're going to take a breath in and exhale. Draw the pelvis and the rib cage together as you lift. And breathe into lower. Add in the arm if you like. Stay heavy in the shoulder socket as the arm comes over. And then bring it down. Sink right down into that shoulder socket. Head gazes to the floor. And then down. Only two more. And last one. Ribs in and down. Scoop up those bellies. And down. Great. Lay down onto the floor. Roll onto your back. Just take the knees over to one side, head rolls the opposite, and then switch. Breathe in and exhale, switch. Just do that twice more. Really soften your buttocks and massage them as you roll those legs from side to side. Come back through to center and just come into figure four stretch. Right foot across onto the bottom of the left knee. Either stay here and press the thigh open, keep this left hip bone even, reaching long, or bring the left foot off the floor. Reach the sit bones, the tail long, and fold the legs in. Yeah, let the chin just gently come down, feel length through the back of the neck, and bring the back of the rib cage heavy into the floor. You can rock this a little if you like, especially going slightly to the left. Will give you a nice little pull in that buttock. And then stay in one position. You can go slightly into the left if you like. Hold as you breathe out. Just gently draw the ribs in and down. Feel that pubic bone slightly connect up to ribs. And breathe in, come back through to center. Switch to the other side, left foot comes across. Press the thigh open, keep this right hip bone nice and steady, don't let it swing with it. Stay there. You could go slightly to the left if you like, with the foot on the floor. Or bring the legs up. Hold them if you like, or just hold with the legs. You can draw the toes back towards the knee. You can go slightly to the right and then release. And again, feel that stretch, reach the left sit bone into the buttock, and then hold where the stretch feels best for you. And breathe through the body. And breathing in, bring the legs back through the center. Hold the sides of the thighs, press the legs away, and roll up to sitting. We'll just do a few half roll downs, assisted roll downs, and then go into some rolling. Hold the sides of the thighs, feet fist width apart. Start to slide the tailbone under, hang on to the thighs. Keep the feet on the floor as long as you can. And then start to let the legs come with the arms as you roll the spine along the floor. Take a breath in and exhale, press the legs away, peel the head, peel up through each vertebrae. Reach the feet to the floor as you round over and up through the spine. 2 more of these. Tail under. Bring the sacrum along the floor, lengthen it. Bring the small of the back down, hold the legs, and bring them in. Take a breath in and exhale, press the legs away, peel the head up through each vertebrae. Feet reach to the floor and round up. Last one. Feel that sequential movement down through the spine, sacrum down, and then find length through the small of the back. And down along through thoracic spine. Press the legs away, peel up through each vertebrae. Reach the feet to the floor and round up. Coming into rolling. Nice long spine, sit back behind the sit bones, bring the toes onto the floor. Breathe in, and as you exhale, scoop, pubic bone to navel, to bottom ribs, round over, gaze to the belly, bring the knees and feet together. Toes come off the floor, keep the gaze on the belly, roll along the spine to the shoulders. Roll back up, toes to floor or hovering. Keep rolling. Make sure you're only going to the shoulders. Keep the gaze on the belly. Stay really round through the spine. 2 more. And come all the way up. Slide the legs out. We're just going to a little spine stretch here. So bring the arms out and then roll the shoulders back in the sockets. Take a breath in. Exhale, hollow through the tummy and round over. Really reach those bottom ribs back. Scoop up through the abdominals and breathe in, stack back up. Exhaling, scoop through the abdominals, up to the bottom ribs, reach them back. Keeping them hollow above that pubic bone a little more, and then stack back through each vertebrae. And 1 more, scooping in, lift up, round over, scoop in above the pubic bone a little more, and then stack back up. Good, and relax those shoulders back and down. So slide the legs back under behind you, come into tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Imagine you have a broomstick laying down, resting onto your sacrum, the back of the heart, and the back of the head. So lift the chest up, widen your shoulders. Feel the back of the neck slightly press up so you lengthen up through the base of the skull. And imagine that broomstick resting on those 3 places. Stay connected with that broomstick. The belly draws in. You're going to slide the right leg out long. Squeeze the back of the thigh and lift the leg. Pause here and now start to circle. Reach the leg really long. Feel like that broomstick still connects. Tailbone, back of the heart, back of the head. The neck slightly lifting and the skull, base of the skull is reaching forward. Pause and circle the leg in the other direction. Feel that pubic bone lifting towards your sternum and those ribs funneling in and down towards the hips. Make sure that upper back doesn't dip down. Feel like you're lifting away from the floor. Bring the leg to center, lower it down, and slide it in. Reset. Feel connection on those 3 points, and then slide the left leg out. Keep your hip bones nice and even. Reach through the leg really long. Squeeze the back of the thigh to lift the leg. Now zip up for that belly skin, hollow in and up. And start to circle the leg. And the elbows face each other. The shoulders are wide. Feel those collarbones wide, like there's a big smile across the top of the chest. Stay connected. The ribcage will want to drop. Make sure you keep back of the heart connected to that broomstick. And then circle the leg around the other way. It doesn't matter if the leg is low. Focus on the setup of your spine. And then those hamstrings will start to strengthen. Keep reaching on through your tailbone. Make sure the hip doesn't drop. Last one. Toes to floor and glide the leg in. Sink the hips back. And you're going to walk the hands around to the right, keeping the hips even, and just bring your left hand on top of the right. Sink the right shoulder down and breathe out. Draw the ribs in and down towards the pelvis. Sink the chin slightly down towards the chest. Feel that lovely stretch around through the waist and the rib cage. And then breathing in, walk the hands around to the left, bring the right hand on top of the left. Breathe out, draw the ribs in and down, and sink the right shoulder down. Just take 3 more breaths here. Drawing those ribs in and down. And then come back through to center. Come back onto the hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Lift up high to a mountain. Walk the feet up towards the hands. Soften into the knees. Pull the tailbone down and slowly stack your weight up through the spine. It's going to do a little bit with the legs here. So bringing the feet together, hands onto the hips. Come down into a little squat, hollow through the belly. Reach the bottom ribs down to your hip bones. Bring the shoulders down and wide. Hold here. Standing onto that right leg, nice and steady. Left toes on the floor. Slide the leg out and in. Scoop up through the belly. Bring those ribs down to hips. If you need to do this with a straighter leg, just think of your day, if you can straighten up or hold on to something. This time you're going to glide the leg out, reach it around behind, and then bring it out to the side and in. You're going to do 3 more of these. Hold this right leg really still. Keep the scoop of the belly, like that pubic bones, drawing out to ribs, and ribs are reaching in and down. Last one. Bring it in. Come all the way to stand. Take a breath in. Just give yourself a little wriggle. And then bend the knees. Sink down. So balancing onto your left foot now. Scoop. Pubic bone to navel. Ribs reach down. Right toes line on the floor. Squeeze in the back of your thighs. Glide the leg out and in. Bring the shoulders down. Widen through the chest. The collarbones are wide. And just feel the back of the neck. Very slightly back. So keep it nice and long. Zip that navel to the spine. One more here. And glide it around the back. Back up to the side and glide it in. 3 more. Keep connection through your torso. Like a slightly rounded back. And last one. Bring it back in. And all the way in. Come all the way up to stand. Give your shoulders a little roll. Shake out the body. So standing onto the right foot, slight bend in the leg, left toes bent. So squeeze your right buttock, pull the sit bone down to the heel. Widen through your chest again, relax your shoulders, and exhale those ribs down to your hips. Keep pulling the sit bone to the heel as you raise the left leg or go sideways, and then exhale, ribs in and down, zip up through the belly, extend the leg out and in. Leg could be down here. You can come back to toe on the floor. Reach down through the sit bone to the heel. And hold the pubic bone and the rib cage towards each other. Don't let go. One more here. Bring the leg in and down to the floor. Balance onto the other leg. Sit bone reaches down to heel, squeeze into the back of the thigh, and the big toe ball of the foot are down into the floor. Float the leg up or the toe on the floor. Exhaling, connect up pelvis and rib cage as you extend and bend. Out and in. Sink those ribs in and down. 2 more. Ball of the foot, big toe into the floor. Bring it in and lower down to the floor. Beautiful. Bring the arms down. So we're going to balance onto the right leg. Slide the left leg back. Fingertips are reaching long. Bend into this front leg. Widen your shoulders, your chest, and reach those fingertips away. Squeeze into the thighs. Raise the back leg. Bring the leg up. And then just see if you can bend the knee in so your toe can come to the floor. And then extend it back out. So you can bend it in and hover and out, or bring it down to the floor. It could slide in and out along the floor as well. Keep hollowing up through the belly, the ribs down. Last one, bring it in and lower the leg down to the floor. Come all the way up. Give the shoulders a little roll around. Balance on to the left leg, right toes aligned. Draw in through the belly, ribs are down, slide the leg back. Hold here, lift the leg. Pause where you can hold steady, scoot through those abdominals, bring the leg in and up. Use the floor as you need to, reach through those fingertips and widen those collarbones like a big smile. Keep that standing leg as steady as you can, your hip bones as even as you can. Last one. Send the leg out, bring the toes to the floor and glide them all the way in. Give those shoulders a little roll. It's going to finish by coming down onto the bellies. Going to finish in a little bit of swimming. So the arms come down beside you. Just feel like you've got a navel resting in the smaller, a marble resting in the small of the back. And then roll it down to the tailbone. Reach the tail towards the heels. Bring the hip bones up towards the ribs. Peel up your torso, widening your shoulders. And then reaching through the tailbone, float the arms and the legs up. Zip up, pelvis and ribs, and then little swimming arms and legs. Breastbone reaches forward, shoulders widen. Keep the arms and legs really straight. Keep drawing that belly skin, pubic bone to navel, and those ribs reach down. A few more. And then pause. Lower everything down to the floor. Relax the head, bend the legs up, and just swing them side to side. And roll over onto your back. Bring the legs into the chest. Either rest here in a butterfly pose, so this will be relaxation. Butterfly pose, or happy baby, or you can take the legs long and just rest on the floor. So just soften the face, relax the eyes, relax through the shoulders, the spine. Soften into your breathing. Feel the breath, feel the belly and the rib cage. Breathe, yawn or side out. And breathing in. Just slowly release legs, arms to the floor. Just take a couple of nice full breaths here. Sigh, yawn it out. Feel all those beautiful sensations through your tissues, all those watery blood, fluids moving around through your tissues. And then gently roll to the side. Bring yourself all the way up to sitting. Sit in a loose cross legs. Bring the right arm up, do a nice gentle arc over. Bring this arm down into its socket. Breathe in and exhale up and over to the other side. Breathe in and exhale. Come back through the center. Take a nice big breath in. Breathe it all out. And you're all done.